Ever get that feeling like, we're not alone out there, in
Yeah.
the universe, like somebody's watching us?
Right.
Maybe you've heard of the WOW signal,
Hmm.
this mysterious radio transmission that kind of shook things up back in 1977.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
We're going to take a deep dive into it.
Right?
Like, what exactly happened that night at Ohio State University's Big Ear Radio Telescope?
Right.
And explore all the theories that have come up since then.
Sounds good.
So back in 77,
Yeah.
this telescope was like a major player in the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, or SETI.
Right. It wasn't like one single organization or anything, but actually lots of projects all kind of working together,
Oh, okay.
all trying to find some some evidence of life beyond Earth.
Out there somewhere.
Yeah.
So Big Ear was scanning the skies for any little hint,
Right.
anything at all.
Looking for anything.
And then boom.
They get this crazy powerful signal.
Yeah, I've seen that printout.
Oh yeah.
The one with "where" scrawled across it.
Oh yeah, that's a famous piece of paper.
Pretty dramatic, right?
Oh yeah, you could say that again for sure. It wasn't just the strength of the signal that got them though.
What else?
It was the type of signal they pick up. See, this was a narrowband radio transmission.
Okay. What's that mean?
Most natural, like cosmic sources, they
Yeah.
give off these wideband signal.
Yeah.
A narrowband signal though is usually artificial.
So like something made it.
Exactly. Like it was sent deliberately.
So maybe not just some random cosmic event.
Right. And here's the thing. It gets even weirder when you factor in the frequency. 1420 megahertz.
Okay. What's specific about that?
Well, it's called the hydrogen line.
Hydrogen. Okay, why hydrogen?
Think about it. If you were trying to design a message
Yeah.
to send across the universe, to another civilization,
Uh-huh.
you'd want to use something everybody could understand. Right?
Yeah, like a universal language.
Exactly. And since hydrogen is like the most abundant element in the entire universe, it's kind of like a cosmic common ground.
Ah, I see.
Scientists have always figured that any advanced alien civilization out there would probably use that frequency if they were trying to get in touch.
Kind of like a cosmic hello there.
Right, exactly. So,
So we've got this strong
Yeah.
narrowband signal
uh-huh.
on the universal hailing frequency. This is starting to sound like a sci-fi movie.
It does, doesn't it? But there's more. This signal lasted a full 72 seconds.
Okay, that's a while.
It's a long time. And that's actually the longest that Big Ear could track any one spot in the sky.
Oh, because of the way the Earth rotates.
Right, so it moves out of view. So we actually have no idea how long it really went on.
So it could have been going on for hours.
Yeah, days, weeks, who knows?
Wow. Okay, this is getting interesting. So where was it coming from, this signal?
That's the thing. We only have like a general idea.
Really?
Yeah, seems like it came from the direction of the Sagittarius constellation, but there's nothing there that could explain it, at least not that we know of.
No stars, no planets, nothing.
Yeah, it's a real mystery.
Well, if it was so strong and clear,
Yeah,
why haven't we ever heard it again?
well, that is the question.
Yeah.
Despite countless attempts to find it again, even with way better technology,
Mm-hmm.
the signal has never, ever shown up again.
Wow.
It's like a one-time thing.
Really makes it hard to figure out.
Yeah, for sure. And it also raises some issues with, the whole alien theory.
You mean like, why would aliens just send one hello and then go silent?
Exactly. If you were trying to make contact, wouldn't you want to send more than just, one blip?
Yeah.
Make sure somebody got the message?
So if it's probably not ET phoning home, then what are we left with?
Well, researchers have looked at tons of possibilities,
Yeah.
natural and man-made. Let's start with what the data tells us.
Okay.
One of the really strange things about the WOW signal
Yeah.
is that it only showed up in one of Big Ear's 2 receivers.
Wait, it had two. I thought it was just one big dish.
It kind of is, but it actually has these 2 separate things called feed horns,
Huh.
and they're collecting data a few minutes apart.
Okay.
The signal only showed up in one.
But either started or stopped in that little window.
Exactly, and that makes some explanations more likely than others.
Okay, so what are we looking at here? Could it have been something natural?
Yeah, that's where a lot of the research has been some things we can rule out right away, like comets.
Okay.
But there's this newer theory about hydrogen clouds that's really interesting.
Hydrogen clouds. How could they cause something like wow, signal?
Well, it's really new research, but the idea is that these energized hydrogen clouds, when they interact with certain kinds of radiation, could produce a burst of energy. And it would be strong enough to be picked up by a radio telescope. And guess what frequency?
I gotta be the hydrogen line, right?
It is. It fits the data amazingly well. Now, of course, we need more research, but it's one of the best explanations we have.
So maybe it wasn't aliens, just clouds of hydrogen putting on a little show.
Space is full of surprises, right?
Right, but what about closer to home?
Like what?
Like, could it have been a signal from Earth bouncing off something in space and back to Big Ear?
Well, that's a great question.
Or, I don't know, maybe some top secret military project nobody was supposed to know about.
Let's talk about those possibilities.
Okay. So we got these hydrogen clouds doing their thing out there.
Yeah,
Pretty wild.
it is pretty wild.
But I'm still kind of hung up on those other ideas.
Like what?
Like, could the, signal have been something from Earth? Like maybe just a random radio wave bounced off a satellite or something.
Researchers thought about that too, and it's not very likely for a couple of reasons.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
First off, broadcasting on that hydrogen line,
The 1420 megahertz thing?
yeah, that's actually protected internationally.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like a cosmic quiet zone
Huh.
for science research.
So nobody should have been transmitting on that frequency.
Exactly.
Okay, but what if it was like an accident?
Uh-huh.
Someone screwed up and their signal went crazy.
Even then, it wouldn't really fit what we saw.
How so?
Remember how the signal rose and fell very specifically as Big Ear scanned across it?
Yeah.
That kind of pattern wouldn't happen if it was just reflecting off something in space.
Okay, so probably not a stray radio waves. What about that other thought?
The military one.
Yeah, like a secret project or something.
Right, right.
They have been, doing something they weren't supposed to.
Well, that was a theory too, but think about it.
Yeah.
If you were running a top-secret operation,
Yeah.
the last thing you do is broadcast it on a protected frequency that every scientist in the world is listening to.
Yeah, you'd have to be pretty dumb to do that.
Right, like hiding in plain sight.
So we've ruled out comets.
Yeah.
Hydrogen clouds are looking pretty good.
So far,
And Earth-based signals are probably not it.
Right.
So what else could it be?
well, that brings us to our last option,
Okay.
and it might be the least exciting one.
Oh no, what is it?
Maybe it was just Big Ear itself.
Wait, you mean like the telescope glitched out and made the signal?
It's possible.
Oh man, come on, that's kind of a bummer after all this mystery.
I know it's not as fun as aliens,
Right.
but we got to think about it. This was the 70s.
Yeah.
Technology wasn't exactly what it is today.
True, true. But could a simple glitch really make a signal that looked exactly like an alien message? I mean, the narrowband, the hydrogen line, the whole thing, it seemed so intentional.
Yeah, that's what people are debating. The Big Ear team, they said their equipment was fine,
Okay.
but some scientists aren't so sure. It's tough because we only have that one event.
Yeah.
It never happened again.
Right.
So we have to consider that it could have been a technical fluke, however unlikely that might be.
Okay, so we've looked at a bunch of possibilities, and nothing is a perfect match. So where do we stand now? Are scientists any closer to cracking the code of the WOW signal?
There's still no answer that everyone agrees on,
Okay,
but a lot of scientists think the hydrogen cloud idea is the most likely.
makes sense.
It explains a lot of the signal's key features,
Yeah,
and it fits with what we're learning about how things work out there in space.
so maybe not aliens, but still pretty awesome.
Definitely.
Shows how much we still don't know about the universe.
Right.
But hold on, even if the WOW signal wasn't ET trying to chat,
Yeah.
it still had a huge impact on SETI research, right?
Oh, absolutely. It really made scientists change their whole approach.
How so?
Well before, wow. A lot of the focus was on looking for super strong signals.
Yeah,
Figuring any civilization that could contact us would have to be using crazy amounts of energy.
like the giant cosmic shout out thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Make sure everyone hears you.
Right, but wow, signals showed us that even something weaker could stand out if it had the right characteristics.
The narrowband, the right frequency.
Yeah, all of that.
So it's more about being clever than just blasting out a signal.
Exactly.
Find the right way to whisper on a certain frequency so you don't get lost in the noise.
That's a great way to put it.
And that's what a lot of SETI is doing now, right?
Yeah, a lot of it.
Trying to find those little whispers and all that cosmic chatter.
Exactly.
It's amazing how this one little signal has had such a big impact on all this research and how we think about finding other life out there.
It's a great example of how a mystery
Yeah.
can lead to all these amazing discoveries.
Makes you wonder what else is out there.
Right.
Speaking of weird signals, there's another thing that's been in the news lately.
What's that?
Fast radio bursts.
Oh, yeah.
FFLB.
FOBs.
There are those super short but incredibly powerful bursts of radio waves.
Right.
It's like the universe is playing games with us.
It kind of is.
What's the latest on us? Any connection to the WOW signal?
Well, they're definitely connected in that they're both these little glimpses into things we don't understand.
Yeah,
They force us to come up with new ideas and technologies to explain them.
I like that.
Yeah.
Tell me more about these FRBs. What do scientists think is causing them?
Well, just like with the, wow, signal, we have a whole bunch of theories,
Okay.
some crazier than others.
All right, I'm right. Lay it on me. So we got these FRBs, these crazy, intense blasts of radio waves. Some are repeating, some aren't. It's like the universe is sending us mixed signals.
Yeah, and that's one of the most interesting things about FRBs,
What is?
how diverse they are. Some only last milliseconds,
Wow.
others a few seconds, and then some just burst once and never again,
Huh.
while others repeat over and over.
Really?
Yeah, it's a real head-scratcher.
Okay, that's a lot to take in. Let's start with the ones that repeat.
Okay.
Any ideas what could be causing those?
Well, one of the top theories involves magnetars.
Magmatars. Remind me what those are again?
Basically, imagine a neutron star,
Okay.
which is already super dense,
Yeah.
but with a magnetic field that's trillions of times stronger than Earth's.
Trillions. Geez, that's hard to even wrap my head around.
Right. And when these fields shift or change, they can release massive amounts of energy.
Okay.
And some scientists think that might be what we're seeing as FRBs.
So like a cosmic earthquake, but instead of shaking the ground, it's messing with space and time itself.
Yeah, that's a great way to picture it. And these magnetar bursts could also explain why some FRBs repeat.
How so?
Think of a magnetar with a hotspot that shoots out energy as it spins around like a lighthouse.
Oh, okay.
Every time the beam points toward Earth, we see it as an FRB.
Like a cosmic beacon flashing across billions of light years.
Exactly. But then there's the FRBs that only happen once.
The one-hit wonders?
Yeah, those are a much bigger puzzle.
What could be causing those?
Some think it could be these huge events,
Like what?
like maybe when two neutron stars collide, or even a black hole evaporating.
That's some serious cosmic drama. We're talking about stuff we could never recreate here on Earth.
Nope. Events so powerful it's almost impossible to imagine.
So you're saying these FRBs could be a way for us to study these events?
Yeah.
Things that are so rare and violent we couldn't see them any other way.
Exactly. Like having a front row seat to the most extreme things happening in the universe.
Wow.
By studying the patterns in these bursts, we could learn more about gravity,
Okay.
the nature of matter, even the fabric of space-time itself.
It's wild to think that something as short as a radio burst could tell us so much about the universe.
I know, it's pretty incredible, right? But here's where it gets even more interesting.
Okay.
While most of these FRBs are probably natural,
Yeah?
there's always that little chance that some of them might be artificial.
Wait, hold on. Are we going back to aliens again?
Haha, it's definitely possible, but it's highly speculative.
I knew we couldn't resist.
But imagine a civilization so advanced that they could control a magnetar.
Okay, now that's just showing off,
Right,
using it to send messages or even as a power source.
exactly. The possibilities are mind-blowing.
I have to admit, as cool as all the natural stuff is, the idea of aliens using FRBs for communication or power, that's some serious sci-fi stuff.
Oh, right? It's fun to think about, and it's important to keep an open mind when we're dealing with things we don't fully understand.
It's like we're putting together a giant puzzle,
Yeah,
but we only have a few pieces. We're getting glimpses of the bigger picture, but we're still missing so much.
that's a great analogy, and that's what makes studying these FRBs so exciting. Every new burst we find, every piece of data gets us a little closer to figuring them out. And who knows what we'll discover along the way.
Well, we've covered a lot today from the wow signal to these crazy FRBs.
Yeah,
Seems like the universe is full of secrets just waiting to be found.
it really does.
But even if these signals end up having a natural explanation, it doesn't make them any less amazing to think about.
I agree, the sense of wonder and mystery is still there.
So what's the biggest takeaway from all this? What should our listeners be thinking about?
I think the most important thing to remember is that the universe is full of surprises. We're always finding new things that challenge what we thought we knew,
True.
and the search for extraterrestrial life is going to be long and tough. But every signal,
Yeah.
every unexplained event brings us closer to answering that big question.
Are we alone?
Exactly.
Well said. Well, I think that about wraps it up for us.
Yeah.
But before we go, I want to leave everyone with one last thought.
Okay.
What if, instead of trying to find aliens, we're actually broadcasting our own existence to them every day?
What do you mean?
Every time we use our phones, watch TV, or hop online?
Interesting. You're saying that we're sending out a signal?
Yeah, like a cosmic beacon announcing that we're here.
And what are we telling them?
That's the question, isn't it? Something to ponder.
It is.
So until next time, keep looking up, keep asking questions, and never stop exploring.
And who knows, maybe someday we'll get that answer.
The big one.
Yeah, are we alone?